Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. I hope everyone is enjoying the Phoebe release and getting hyped for RIA as well, because the last 07 show actually gave some very interesting information. Of course, I think a lot of people will be very happy that we'll no longer be able to lose skill points when we get botted, except in Tech 3 cruisers. That will still remain. Yeah, I actually think that's gonna be a nice little change. Of course, we are here for the market, so let's jump right in. I don't actually have a lot of extra announcements for this one. So let's start here with plex, and I'll write down 40 seconds for that. Plex down a little bit, 871, 350. Still 871 million for a plex is quite high. Let's have a quick look here at the 1 month chart. You can see it flattening out after it broke 860. And it's actually at 871, so it knew a little bit of a jump up. What the hell is this chart, right? Let's go for a 3-month chart here for a second. That's weird. But maybe it's the average price. Yeah, I think so. 853 for the buyers, 871 for the sellers. That's a margin of 18 million, which is actually quite high for plex. So I do think that people that are trying to sell above 870 are having a very hard time getting rid of their plexes, and that there's actually more buy orders being filled closer to the 860 million mark, which is why the chart is showing the graph being just above 860 and not close to 870, which I think is already an interesting fact as well. But of course 870, 860 is very expensive for a plex. With the Phoebe release, at least it's flattening out, and we'll have to wait in the upcoming weeks to see if there's actually a pullback. With a good sale, it is possible that plex will pull back a little bit. If a lot of new players come back, get hyped for RIA as well, it's possible that we might have like a winter crash, which we used to have a few years ago. But that is still up in the air in my opinion, because, well, plexes, everyone knows what it is, everyone knows what it does, and everyone loves it for inflation protection. So yeah, 860 million. I do think for buy orders at that price you will be able to pick up plex. At least this is what I make from this chart, and this decently large margin in between buyers and sellers at the moment. Let's have a look at titanium then. So for the minerals, 235 for that. It was 555 just a second ago, now it's 557 for the sellers for titanium, 545 for the buyers, which is not a big margin. This is the 1 month chart. As you can see here, the downward trend, the correction that happened after a spike, well, a data point as high as 572 has stopped, and the titanium price has managed to maintain itself at around the 550 mark. A little data point here at the tail end, a little bit higher than that, so it is possible that titanium is going back up. I think supply demand is going to be important here. 2 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion, 1.5 billion. I actually think this is decently balanced, so I would suspect that titanium is going to continue to go sideways in the upcoming days and maybe weeks, at around the 550 to 560 price band, something like that, because this doesn't look like there's huge oversupply or an extremely high demand for titanium at the moment that cannot be filled by the sell orders either. So I would suspect a sideways movement here. Let's have a look at the pyrite chart then. Yeah, correcting back a little bit as well. So it came off the top. Maybe the 3-month chart could be a bit more interesting. Well, decently spiky behavior. Of course, we're talking 0.5 ISK on this little jump here, so it's not that it's really drastic. For 3 months, pretty much up just a little bit from 10.8 to 11 ISK. Here the 1 month chart is down from 11.35, but it's working its way back up towards 11.10, 11.20. So it's generally more of a sideways movement than anything else. Let's have a look at supply demand. 185 million, here 550, 551, but those are a little bit older already. So supply does come in, margin very small, 11.11 to 11.15 ISK. So I think honestly that this is in line with titanium. There's a little bit more demand lower down, but there's decent supply coming in here with almost 200 million, which is also a little bit older. So I actually think that the market is taking a break here, and that we might see some sideways movements and some more variation. Maybe Pyrite doesn't seem to be that active, so any active players can actually have a bigger influence on the Pyrite market, causing these little spikes here. I think that's a possibility, but I think we're looking at further sideways movement above 11 ISK for Pyrite for now. Let's have a look at the Mixalon chart then. Ooh, that one is correcting. 72 ISK at the beginning of the month, which is very high, I think, for Mixalon. This is the 6-month chart, so obviously we knew a very nice increase in price. People mining in HiSec, I'm sure will have noticed that, but we are correcting here at the moment, and that's not insignificant. So let's have a look here at prices. 72, 47, 73, 51. Supply demand 100 million is the biggest order I'm seeing right here. 124 million here. It's not super drastic just yet, but maybe a little bit of downward pressure. I think the next week is going to be very interesting and crucial for Mixalon. If the bottom drops out, if this downtrend here confirms itself, we could look at a decent correction. If on the other hand supply demand stays in balance, people actually buy enough Mixalon, prices could stabilize at like maybe 60 ISK or something like that, which I think is a strong psychological barrier. Let's have a look at Isogen next, 113 to 119. The chart is of course where we want to take a look at it. Here again, after a correction, it tried to bounce back a little bit, and now I think we're more in a sideways movement for Isogen at the moment, at around the 118 price mark. So 113, like I said, for the buyers, 119 for the sellers. 12, 17 million, 73 million on a buy order here as well, very recent. So I would say that these 73 million will actually be filled because they are so extremely recent. 17 million and 12 million, very recent as well, is decent. So I think we're looking at a sideways movement for most HiSec minerals. It's just on Megasite, nope, on goddammit Mixalon, that I'm hesitating a little bit, because this is a decent correction that's starting now, and we've seen Mixalon hold a very high price of 72 ISK for a decently long time. So this could be a little bit more dangerous, but the other ones I think for HiSec are going to move sideways in the upcoming week. Let's have a look at some nullsec ones, and Megasite still not looking too hot here. Going as low as close to 700 ISK. Apparently there the market is hesitating, so here at the tail end 700, they don't actually want to cross that except for this little data point here. So buyers are sticking at 708 ISK, sellers 719, but I'm still seeing 18 million, which is a pretty big buy order right here. And you have to go as high as 740 to find a 25 million ISK sell order. So is the market going to start to hesitate above 700 ISK? I think it's a possibility, but if supply keeps, well, actually this is a buy order, so I should not say if supply keeps coming in. This at least is putting a little bit of a bottom here, this 18 million buy order, and yeah, I think honestly Megasite is gonna stop at this point. I thought it was going to stop at 950. At 700, I really think it's going to stop going down any further. Let's have a look at Zydrine, see what that one is doing. Could be an indication. Zydrine, oh my god, crashing down towards 400. Honestly, it's already breaking the 425 here. 433 for the sellers, 417 for the buyers, so that's not good, you know. These nullsec minerals are tied together, I think. If you can mine one, you can mine the other, and Zydrine's going back down once again, I think is very dangerous for the Megasite market as well. Let's say that if you see Zydrine breaking 400, don't be surprised that you'll see Megasite breaking 700, and then how low is that going to go? I have no idea, but Megasite might try to hold on, might put a stop to the downtrend for Zydrine as well. Man, it's a tough market here at the moment. For Noxium, 523 to 530, so this little margin, but still on its way down as well. So yeah, nullsec minerals still down, which they've been doing for quite a while. If I go for the 6-month chart right here, you can see, and if I go for the 1-year chart, you can see that it's actually pretty damn drastic. This is the Megasite chart, ouch, that actually hurts, and this is the Zydrine 1-year chart. Look at that, the spike last year, then managing to hold on above 700 for quite a while, and now going close to 400 at the moment. So yeah, nullsec miners, I don't think it's their day at the moment. Maybe a quick touch on the Morphite chart here, very similar, also crashing or down quite a lot for the 1 year. If I go for the 1 month chart here, trying to hold on at 4,700 for more fights. So yeah, Nosik Minerals, they're just not doing too well at the moment. Interesting stuff. Let's have a look at some Take 1 ships then, and that's going to be 1010 for that. Here is the Caracal chart. You know, I could go for a 6-month chart. You'll see some variations, but holding in between the 10 and 12 million for the Caracal is where they've been in the last 6 months. If I look at supply demand, 11, 15, 14, you know, these are decent numbers here, 25, and we are actually at a pretty low point here, below 10 million, and supply still coming in. Ooh, maybe a bit of structural downward pressure right there, but I would not be surprised that all of these get snagged up pretty quickly and that price will go back above 10 million. Overall, in the last 6 months or so, I would say that the Take 1 market has been decently stable, and I don't actually see any real reason why this would change. This is the Dominic's chart then, again starting at 188, ending the month at 182 is nothing too drastic. This is here the 6-month chart, starting at just above 190, ending below 185. This is a healthy market, has always been well supplied. It's looking quite okay. This is the Drake market. It knew a little bit of a spike, or several spikes, to a run up to 49, and now it has dropped down a little bit, this is now close to 41, 44, so all of them are down just a bit for the 6-month chart, but I think this is going to redress itself for the Drake. 44 already for the sellers. I think there will be upward pressure here pretty soon. Let's have a look here at the Talos, 71 to 73, I would say. This is a 6-month chart. That's the reverse of the Drake. And I think you can already see the correction coming back here for the Talos, and I think it's only a matter of time for the Drake to shoot back above 45 million, which is a normal price for it. So yeah, a little bit of a different analysis here for the Take 1 market, but I still think that even on the 6-month chart, and despite this dip here for the Drake, that the Take 1 ship market is just well supplied. Maybe a touch of oversupply at the moment in something like the Drake, but if you look at the Talos, then again 19 here. Yeah, we have to be a little bit careful of oversupply. I'm starting to see it crop up, and it's true that there is maybe a slight downward pressure, but it's still nothing that drastic. I don't think it's anything to panic about. I think the market can actually take a little bit of extra supply, maybe a little bit of lower prices as well, but I don't see a crash in the cards for Take 1 at the moment. Let's touch on the Take 2s then for some trade. Money 1250 on that one. Let's go for 6-month chart here once again, which I always do. Absolution finally coming down a little bit, but hesitating to break 250 and still way too high for me to invest in. This is the Astarte. Finally we see some command ships going down a little bit after managing to hold on to very high price for a long time. The Astarte does seem to break 280 now, buyers 254, sellers trying to hold on, but you can see every Astarte coming in is competing. Sometimes they take 2 million off, sometimes they take 3 million off. Sometimes just one, sometimes they point one each other, but I do think there is a little bit of downward pressure at these very high prices for command ships. This is the Claymore chart. Still that data point is being very annoying here, but too high at the moment. This is the Damnation. That is a little bit more interesting, starting to reach 245, couple data points below that. Bardus 238. I think these Bardus are right. If you can pick up a Damnation below 240, that's not bad, and if you can then ride some of these spikes up to 280, look at that, very nice big spikes there. That is actually not a bad move. So the Damnation, probably one of the only command ships I would consider. Here is the Eagle chart, 170, big spike here above 210. Not that bad, but I would hesitate. Maybe if you see some Nullsec Alliance again going for Eagles like the Brave Collective have, you may be interested in buying some Eagles, but at the moment I would be careful. I'm not seeing as much spiky behavior as in other Take 2 ships, although it's decent. I would prefer some bigger spikes myself. This is the EOS, another command ship. Little dip here, try to reach 300, already bounced back a little bit, but I think it needs to go down even further than that at the moment before I jump into EOS's. This is the Guardian then. This is what I like to see. Nice 3 spikes, currently holding at 135. If you can pick some up on buy orders close to 130, below 130 I think would be better. And you can see if this supply here dries up, we're looking at possibly another spike and some nice potential. I like this chart for for some trade money myself. Here is the Hound next. Look at that, very nice little spike here. Last week we saw him close to 18 million, which is very low for a Hound. Immediately a spike up to 20, more than 10% of that price. I think there's some profit to be made in there, of course. Let's have a look at the Manticore, which was in a similar situation. Again, jumped from 20 million to almost 23 million. Again, more than 10% of a jump, not bad, but already starting to correct. So you're a little bit late if you still need to sell. And here is the Nemesis. It tried to do the same thing, but it's still well below 20. So I actually think that Nemesis for at buy orders close to 19 are not a bad price. Next up here, the Nighthawk. Command ship way too high. I don't understand how the Nighthawk can maintain its price above 270, but that's the situation at the moment, and I would not invest in that. This is much more interesting. Look at the Purifier here, went down below 17.5 million. Nice big spike up to 19.5. That's actually a pretty decent margin right here. You may be a little bit late again because 131 of them coming in here. You need to be fast, but I do think that there is some trade potential. This is the Scimitar. Tried a little bit of a spike, but it's hesitating really. Are we below 145 for Scimitars? Yep, below 145 for the sellers, below 140 for the buyers. I think those buyers are actually correct. If you can pick some of these up, you have potential for some spikes. If you can time it correctly, look at that, 165, 170, 175. Scimitars can be worth it when a big group comes in to buy a support fleet for one of their doctrines. Let's have a look here at the Sleipnir. It corrected at least from its top, but I would say it's still too high, you know, closer to 230 for some potential. And then here is the Vulture. That's more interesting, 240 for the Vulture. Yeah, the Vulture and Damnation, I would say, if you're looking for some command ships. I like the command ships myself. They're big investments, but of course if a command ship jumps 10%, 20%, that's of course a lot of millions to make in one go. So the Vulture could be interesting, and the Damnation. All the other ones are still holding at way too high prices for me. Let's move on to the tech tree market then. 1745 for that. I'm actually making good time here. After last week's spike here, let's go for the 1 month chart. Legion managing to maintain a price above 150, which I think is not bad, but that which I was expecting has happened. Look at that, 79 Legions coming in here. What is the average that is bought in a single day? I would put it below 100 units. So that's just one guy bringing in 79 units, almost a day supplies right away. At this spike. So the downward pressure I do think is back. This is the Loki, 77 coming in at 157. Again, this is going to stall here at 155, and I do think that the downward pressure is going to be right back here. 78 Proteai, 11 Proteai right there. Yeah, again here you're gonna see this stop. At what prices are they trying? Well, 170. I would try to unload my Proteus as well, honestly. And here is then the Tengu, 77.20 once again. Yep, the oversupply, you know, people are producing way more than the market can handle at the moment. Any spike gets jumped on by huge supply numbers right away, and this is what happened right here. So yep, I would expect downward pressure. I would expect tech tree ships to start to come back down from this second spike here. Although for trade, this is, if you can time it correctly, of course, this is potentially something good, but you can also see that the volumes have gone a lot lower. So if you decide to buy a lot of tech tree ships to try and sell them on one of these spikes, you know, volume just isn't there. It's going to be very hard to unload big numbers, and the oversupply is a reality in the tech tree market. So the downward pressure is there, and it's going to be very hard for the people that are greedy and really want to take advantage of the highest points of these price spikes. So yeah, tech tree, you know, it was a very nice spike. Someone bought a lot of them, but I think it's going to be short-lived, and I think it's going to go down from now on, with a lot of pressure from the huge oversupply there. And then for the extra material, let's say 20 minutes for that. I'm going to take the suggestion of going after some decryptors, because those have changed with the Phoebe release. So no longer do we have manufacturing and research. I think it's going to be research equipment make. Yep, decryptors. No longer do we have racial decryptors, but these are yeah, compacted into one of each kind. Definitely going to be a change for the invention as well. I did not read that dev blog, so I don't know the details, but someone pointed to the process decryptor, I think it was, to keep an eye on that. So we will go over the list and we'll see if they have reacted or how they have reacted here so far. And an accelerant decryptor is going for 700,000 ISK. Of course, the chart is very difficult to read at the moment because these are new items. They've replaced all of the other decryptors. But this 700,000 ISK, I mean, and a lot of downward pressure from the first few that get sold at 1.3 million, almost double the price, I think is normal for an accelerant. I wouldn't say that that's anything huge right there. This is the attainment, and then starting at 3 million, but current price for attainment, yeah, 3 million, that's not bad, I think, for an attainment decryptor. But isn't that one that you don't actually get a lot from HiSec? Well, actually, I think you get all of them from HiSec, so I think that that's actually a pretty good price. The buyers are definitely there for this. Look at that, a lot of buying, not that much selling. So yeah, attainment, that looks pretty good here. Look at that, a lot of buyers as well, but there are decent numbers, 147 of them right here. So 3 million for an attainment. I can't actually put that into perspective on the other ones, because I have no idea what the previous versions are. It's been a while since I've done HiSec exploration for data sites. This is the augmentation decryptor going for 500,000. A lot of buyers here for 400,000, so I actually think it's already found its price. And for augmentation, I actually think this is a normal, maybe even a little bit of a low price. This is the optimized attainment decryptor, 7 to 8 million, but I don't think this drops in HiSec. I've never seen it myself. An optimized decryptor. Optimized augmentation decryptor also going for 8 million, something like that. 6 to 7 million for the buyers. And this is the process decryptor, 1.6 million to 1.7 million. Let's have a look here at price history. Started at 1.8, jumped up to 184, managing to hold on quite nicely. Would you put this at higher price than what it was before? Maybe by a bit. If I'm not mistaken, parities in Galente space went for 1.3 or something like that, so I would not be surprised that this is actually a little bit higher. But is this a huge move? I honestly don't know that much. This is the process, 350,000, 550,000. That's actually pretty low, I think, historically for a process decryptor. So I'm not sure if your gamble paid off, whoever it was that pointed me to the to these decryptors, but I'm not seeing like huge movements on this. All of these prices actually feel decently in line with what it was pre-Phoebe. So there we go. This is the symmetry decryptor, pretty low, 500,000 ISK, I would say on average. Even there's even sellers coming in at 400,000. So I don't really know. It's my fault for not really reading the dev blog on the invention changes. I'm busy with other stuff at the moment with wormhole space, so my attention is not here exactly. So yeah, the decryptor market right here, to me this feels like it's pretty much in line with what it was pre-Phoebe. I would like to know what your opinion is on that. If you have any other opinions on this decryptor market, feel free to post that in the comments. I'm very curious to know. I know someone made a move on one of them. Do you think it was the correct move to make? I think it was process. I'm actually not 100% sure because it's so low at 500,000. I don't think you can make huge money for that. But overall, I would say that this hasn't moved that much because of the invention changes or the changes to the decryptors themselves. This all feels decently in line with what I was experiencing myself from data sites in Galente space when I did a lot more exploration. So yeah, there you go guys. I would say decryptors still looking like a market that has not been shifted that much. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. Anyways, that's going to be it for this ETH talk then. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.